Hello, welcome to the garage area. It is me, Ryan, again this week alone because Adam took off. Um, we are here after Talladega. To reiterate, the start finish line is beyond the tri-oval, if you didn't know already. So that got pounded into our heads all weekend long. So we will get into it. The first incident of the day, Daniel Suarez. He started with a pass-through penalty. Um, Obviously, with the pack coming at him, he's going a lap down. The pack starts to lap him, and he decides to clear himself in front of poor BJ McLeod. Puts himself into the wall, puts BJ into the wall. He's just desperation, I guess, at this point. I don't know what he was thinking. He was the only car one lap down, so if anything happened, he was going to be the free pass. So we, yeah, that's on him. Early incident. Really, the only thing I got to talk about, end of stage one, Chris Buescher won stage one. Um, we had some four wide racing for like 20 laps. It kind of looked impressive on TV, but in the grand scheme of things, they're just all saving fuel. They're all part throttle the whole time. They're just driving around. So if you really watch, you can tell there's very little pushes. All the cars are spaced out. They're not really trying that hard. They're just riding in line. You kind of get locked in place. There's not much you can do. I don't really see that as racing. This new car is just terrible, and we can get into that even more later. Of what all is wrong with this car? We have it's just this isn't the restrictor plate type drafting style tracks or racing I'm used to. I think I already said it. Chris Buescher won stage one. Not that that really matters for him, as he's already knocked out, or he never made the playoffs. So. Reality is not the first big incident of the day. Coming the end of stage two, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Joe Logano got caught up in a wreck coming to the line. Alex Bowman got blamed for that one, pushing through Blaney. It's what comes with this style of racing. Making a push. He was probably trying to stay ahead of some people inside or outside of him, and probably had a bigger run hitting Blaney. I don't think it was anything intentional, but I took Blaney out of the race. At the time it was going to put a decent hit on his point standings until the big one came up later. Cindric won stage two, which at that point was probably pretty big for him. I'll have to take a look at the standings here and see where that puts him. But the main story of the day was a 28 car pileup, which I guess is officially the largest pileup in NASCAR history. I know I've seen videos of the old timers cars and stuff piling up. There was like 40 some cars, but evidently that's not an official stat anywhere. So I guess the biggest controversy was this: is they towed cars to pit road. I believe mainly Chase Elliott and Chase Briscoe. So I don't know if it was a pick and choose. They pushed a couple cars, I think, without towing them, which I think was within the rules. I'm not 100% sure. They change them every week. In the grand scheme of things, that only gained them a couple points, but in reality, it wasn't fair, especially what happened to Josh Berry last week, and considering NASCAR didn't say they were going to change up the policy or anything else. So it was all just brand new. It was right on the spur of the moment. Decided, all right, we're going to help these guys. As a Chase Elliott fan, I'm glad I gave him a couple points, but in reality, it wasn't fair. He should have been back to the garage. Even going back to Suarez, I think they just pushed him to get him jump started. So that I don't have a problem with. A lot of other cars just wanted pushes, and they all take their good time. Of course, they went under red flag, and I don't think any cars are supposed to move unless you get towed back to the garage. So if you want to work on your car, you got to sit there until caution comes out, and this is where the next controversy comes out. Evidently, they went caution without moving the pace car so they could move cars. So these cars, and under caution, you can work on your cars. So when you're working your cars, the cars on the track should be moving, putting you laps down. You don't get this advantage of all the cars stopped and you get to work on your car. So There was another thing they were trying to get. I don't know if they were just scared that too many cars would be out of the race at that point, or what the deal was. Whether their favorite playoff drivers were in it and stuff. Of course, 28 cars. I think half the playoff cars were probably in that at least. So um, I don't know. There just seems like they're making up the rules as they go. I hate this style of track in the playoffs. I mean, I hate. I don't know the way the whole playoff system's set up. Anybody can win into the playoffs. I don't like anyways because these tracks are now deciding championships when it's just luck of the draw. So um, that's all I think I got for that part. I thought I had more in my head that I was going to go off on. um, it's just next year this is going to be in the round of 8 at Talladega, and it's going to take out drivers that I believe should be racing for the Final Four. I mean, Kyle Larson, who I believe will be in the Final Four, finally got through one of these wrecks. I mean, he was averaging 24th position finished before today, or Sunday. So, it just I don't think these Atlanta or this belong in the playoffs, and I hate how they decide who is in and out the playoffs. For example, Daniel Suarez, he should I don't believe he should be in the playoffs. Or his record hasn't shown it, his driving hasn't shown it, and he just lucked off at Atlanta earlier in the year. So, it's that's my 2 cents on it. After that, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wins. I don't have much more on that. It was kind of funny how the 5-car audio come out and say don't push Keselowski to win, don't push him, get off of him. So, I hate the manufacturer alliances. He just helped Ricky to a win. I believe they're friends. So I mean, that being that, I could see they just happen to be in the same manufacturer. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing too controversial in that matter. I don't think there's anything NASCAR will do to penalize them or should do. I believe you should be able to let off in that style to let one person win or not. I mean, it wasn't anything too big to me. So, but there is going to be a lot of shake-up in the playoff standings because it took out a bunch of playoff drivers. Denny Hamlin, who this time the laying back out of the thick of the storm paid off for him. So he's up plus 30, so that's pretty good. William Byron is locked into the next round. He's plus 74 points, so he can't be knocked out. Christopher Bell, he's 3 points away from being locked into the next round as well. I don't see him going anywhere. Larson plus 52, Hamlin plus 30. I think they're all pretty safe. Even Alex Bowman plus 26. I assume he might get stage points in the first stage or something without flipping the stages. Ryan Blaney plus 25. So that wreck, because he finished last, I believe. So that wreck helped bring a lot of people back to him. The last 2 drivers in, I think, are the most worried here is Reddick and Elliott. Reddick plus 14. Chase Elliott plus 13. Joey Logano is the first under, minus 13. Suarez minus 20. Cindric minus 29. Briscoe minus 32. I believe Suarez, Cindric, and Briscoe are must-wins. I mean, I believe everyone else, like Elliott, Reddick, and Blaney, Bowman, probably Hamlin will stay out and try and get stage points. So you're only going to gain a few stage points here and there. Logano, even that, I assume he'll go for stage points too. Depending on how the stages go, it could be a must-win for Logano also. I believe Elliott and Reddick are good enough at these road courses. They should finish up front. I mean, depending on how hard it is to pass, especially with this new layout they got. I think they're trying to promote more passing, give them a bigger braking zone or dive bomb zone. I believe they call it turn 7. I'm not 100% sure. It'd be where you turn out to go toward the oval turn 1. So that's where they're at with the playoff standings. I really believe Blaney's not in too big of a worry. I'd be worried if I was Chase Elliott or Tyler Reddick with the new winner. Suarez and Cindric are pretty competent at these tracks, so if they're racing for the win, I could see them, uh, leapfrogging maybe out. So if I'm Chase Elliott, I'm definitely staying out to get the stage points. Hopefully, maybe outrun Tyler Reddick and make him the bottom guy if there is a new winner. That's what I would do. If I was him, try to outrun Reddick for a new winner. Um, I'm not a crew chief and not a strategist, so maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I would be doing. Um, so that's what I got for the Cup Series. If we go back to Adam and I's pick, um, he picked Kyle Busch, who um, was running top six, and they left him out to dry there in the last lap. Poor Kyle. I mean, I don't think he was going to win doing anything else. He just hoped other people would go with him. It's just, this style of track, if you get out of line 3 wide when you're going full throttle, the third line hardly works anymore. It's 2 by 2 by 2, no passing unless, the whole line comes with you to pretty much drop out a car at a time. So that's about how that works out. But he finished 19th after running 6 from the backstretch to the start-finish line. Of course, remember the start-finish line is past the tri-oval, so this weekend the start-finish line is in the tri-oval, and we're at a road course, so maybe they'll talk about that. But I picked Ryan Blaney. Of course, he was the first one out because of the wreck at stage 2. So Adam got the point this week. I got a 7-point lead on him still, so I'm looking pretty good in our own little point standings. So that's where I'm at with that. That's the Cup Series review. The best race of the weekend again was the Xfinity Series. They actually have good plate racing, although there were some big shakeups there. Also, the Sammy Smith wins the race. Throughout the racing, he went from the 12th car in to now the first one advanced. So that puts a couple good drivers below the bubble. Austin Hill, SVG, Allgaier, Klingerman, all playoff cars involved in wrecks. There may have been even more that I don't remember. Those are the big ones. Most of those drivers are still good with the exception of Justin Allgaier. I feel like he's been wrecked out since, Bristol before the playoffs. So, like 4 or 5 straight races, he's involved in an accident. The big one there at the last big wreck, I believe, was pretty much took out all of JRM, 3 of JRM cars, and the other JRM car that won. So, and then Sam Mayer was DQ'd for a low car. So 4 of the 5 JRM cars are pretty much toast at the end of this race. So that kind of stinks for them guys, especially Allgaier coming in the number 1 seed. Is now -7 on a cut line, and I'm interested to see what happens with Sam Mayer because JRM is fighting the penalty. So if that, I believe that will put Sam Mayer back above the line if wins the appeal. The appeal is the word I was looking for. So so if that puts Sam Mayer back above the cut line, that put Allgaier like -20. So that's a big swing between -7, -20. Same with Shane, he's -10 right now, going into the Roval where he could very easily win the race. So if I'm Allgaier, I'm really worried. Of course, I'm gaining stage points. I mean, I say he's got to try and gain on Riley Herbst, who would be +20 over Allgaier. So that's about Allgaier's best hope, is trying to catch Riley Herbst, because we got AJ Allmendinger, who could win and is going to be fast. I think Allmendinger has not lost a Roval race in the Xfinity Series. So that's going to be the if I'm Allgaier, he's got Riley Herbst is probably who he's fighting, because Shane Van Gisbergen and Allmendinger could win this race. So with barring any bad luck between those two, it's going to be tough for him to pass through. So that's all I got for that. Kligerman is -16. I mean, I say Allgaier is competent enough at road courses that, and even Sam Mayer. So I mean, Kligerman's gonna. I mean, I don't see him making it through. So it's a pretty stacked cut line there for road course racers. So um, we'll have to. That'll be interesting to watch. Um, Truck Series. I don't have much on them as far as how the race goes. That other than Grant Enfinger is advanced to the Final Four, so you already see here Talladega determined one of the Final Four drivers because I consider him one of the. I would have considered him one of the Final Four out, considering Heim, Eckes, and Majeski, and Sanchez were the best four drivers throughout the year, and of course Grant Enfinger. I mean nothing against Enfinger. I believe he's a championship contender, but it just it automatically just eliminated one of who I believe is the four best drivers. So you got Raja Carew below the cut line now as far as the playoffs go. Corey Heim, Eckes, and Majeski are the top four. So Majeski's +5, Carew -5. So they still have two more races to go before the cutoff. So, and they're off for a couple weeks. I'm not exactly sure where they go to next. So I'll probably update that more next time. Before the week before they come back. So I don't have much for news. I mean, there's still a lot going on with the 2311 Front Row Motorsports NASCAR antitrust lawsuit here. So NASCAR hasn't said much. I know they got somebody to a lawyer that's going to fight for them, who's done a lot in the Hollywood scene from what I've seen, and others Olympic sporting and all of that. So it's going to be a fight. So other than that, that's about all I have. Next week's schedule is the Roval, of course, for the Xfinity Series and Cup Series. The Roval Xfinity Series at 4, Cup Series at 2. I don't really have much on it other than they have the new layout they're trying, so we'll see how that plays out. I enjoyed the Roval, maybe because I'm a Chase Elliott fan, probably. So this new car has just kind of ruined everything. Going back to the you can't pass, especially short tracks and road courses. I even see the issues at the mile and a half. I mean, I feel like the best shows at the mile and a half are when they're like late race restarts and they're all spread out fighting for the win. Kind of like what happened at Kansas where Larson beat Buescher by that millisecond. So it needs either revamped or a new car. I don't know what happened. Trying to think back, everyone hated the car of tomorrow, and eventually they phased it out to where it was a decent car. Then it started going the wrong way just before the Roval when they started taking horsepower out of these cars, adding downforce and whatnot. So that's all I got for this week. It was kind of a short one. I thought maybe it'd be longer. Maybe if Adam was here, he'd have had more input to what was going on there. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever you do. Like, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. So until after the Roval, we'll see you.